What's good? It's your boy NLG and welcome back to the channel. It has been an absolute minute. Today we're doing the Crystal Palace versus Arsenal match preview right here ahead of the 2 p.m. kickoff tomorrow at Selhurst Park. Let's speak about it. I know it's been an absolute minute. You know, I usually film these from my grandma's, from my nan's flat. That's why I have this set up. Her place flooded a few weeks ago. She's been in and out of hospitals. It's been mad. It's been a mad time. You know, sometimes life just throws you them curveballs, but we're here. We're here. I hope everyone's good and looking forward to the game. I mean, I managed to go to the Emirates for this cold celebration. This green screen, generational stuff. Generational stuff. We got Batman Gabs. We got Bane Yokeres, and then Martinelli came with this one as well. I don't know if you lot saw it, but he's what is that, Daredevil? So you got the DCU MCU crossover, which is it's sacrilege to be honest. But anyway, what a fantastic game against Atletico Madrid. We just played so well. We typically score a lot of goals in the Champions League, and you know, in the Prem even we're actually third top scorers. Man City with 17, Chelsea with 15, and Arsenal with 14, I believe. Chelsea have just scored just now, though, against Sunderland. Garnacho scored, so that increases. But look, Eze derby tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eze returns to Crystal Palace. We have some injury news, unfortunately, as well. So we're going to speak about that. Let's get into it. Well, first and foremost, let's look at Crystal Palace's last few games. So they had a very strong start to the season. You know, Glasner's really done well with that team, making them rugged. Mateta's doing really well up top as well. However, the last 3 games haven't been so good for him. They lost 1-0 to Larnaca. That's wild, bro. I went to Larnaca, what? How many years ago was that? 9 years ago? In Cyprus. Beautiful place. I had no money. I had to come back from the trip. In fact, I had to ask my friends to borrow money when we're out in Larnaca. We booked a 12-day holiday. I don't know why we thought that was a good idea, but it was because there wasn't much price difference. Firstly, we were all sick of each other by the end of it. We were out in the absolute sticks of Larnaca. And I had zero money. And neither did 2 of my friends that were on that trip. They had to go work at Sports Direct. And I told them, they were like, yeah, like we can get you a job now. I was like, I refuse. I rebuke it. But yeah, that was the last time I was in Larnaca. So Crystal Palace lost to Larnaca in their last match. They drew to Bournemouth before that, and they lost to Everton. So their last run of results hasn't been too great. Obviously, our last game, you know, we played Fulham. Was a bit of a snore fest, as most of our Prem games are. But if you win the match, you win the match. I just would like us to see us win matches earlier. Like, can we win matches earlier in the game is what I want to try and see from Arsenal. So yeah, things look more in our favor. We're top of the league. We have an opportunity. Man City and Liverpool both play tomorrow, and we have an opportunity to go to Selhurst Park. Another team that took points off us last season as well, by the way. So we have managed to pick up 3 points against most of the teams that have cost us the league title in previous seasons. You know, your West Hams, your Newcastles, your Fulhams, for example. Crystal Palace is another one of those teams last season that took points of us. It's a chance for us to go and clear our name. Clear your name, bro. Arsenal, the players, go clear your name. These are the teams. We've shown over the last few years that we can beat the big teams, and we've clearly got the talent to go do it. I think we just need to kill this game from early, and our back line has been the biggest strong point of the way we're doing things at the moment. However, unfortunately, we have some bad news for Gabriel Magalhaes, because he is out with a knock. He's out with a bit of an injury, unfortunately. He apparently had a knock at the end of the game. He had to leave the pitch. Arteta mentioned in his press conference, in his presser, Gabriel had to leave the pitch against Atletico with an issue. He hasn't been able to train yet. So it's unlikely whether you play him. Look, in my opinion, I wouldn't even bother. I would just bench him. We've got Brighton midweek in the Carabao Cup as well. keep him on the bench, wrap him in cotton wool. We've got Mascara. If you wanted, you could play Calafiori left centre back, bring Skelly in against Crystal Palace. That's probably what I'd do. And yeah, keep the rest of the team pretty much the same. So that's the news for Gabriel there, which is really unfortunate. But hopefully, as Arteta said, it is just a knock, and we can see things progressing from there. Other than that, team looks good. I found this to be some interesting news regarding Gabriel Jesus. Arteta gave a recap in his presser on how some of our injured players are doing, and he mentioned that Odegaard, Madueke, Jesus, Havertz, they are getting closer. They're not yet ready to be properly back in training, at least not in the next week, but I guess maybe next couple of weeks. But this was interesting about Gabriel Jesus. Every day, Mikel Arteta and the board say they're eager for my return. I don't see myself outside the club's plans. I'll be at the club at least until 2027. Will his knees last till 2026? Because where I need to get to with Gabriel Jesus, I actually love the guy. I actually love the guy. I love football. I really want to play football now. I went to play, but I'm injured. I have a knee injury. I tried to go play some weeks back, and I did played well. I was mashing people up, scoring goals left, right, and center. I'm both fitted, can cut in on my left, go on my right. When the right's feeling a twinge, then maybe I'll go more on my left foot. But at the end of the day, Gabriel has sustained so many injuries back to back to back to back to back. You can't just be saying you're staying until 2027. And we'd all love to carry you in the team, but bro, it's just not making sense. And from the club's perspective, I think they really need to look at it. I know he's saying the club are really eager for him to stay, and I do think his qualities would be such a value add to this team, because I think Havertz is a bit of a floaty, lanky type of striker who's not even a striker. Gyökeres is actually a striker who's more built and bullish. Jesus is the kind of second striker I'd want, the kind of actual second striker I'd want. That's different to Gyökeres, more skillful, can weave in between the gaps, is more natural at drifting in between positions and being not just a link-up player, but beating a man and doing something with the ball. But man, I can't see him staying until 2027. So anyway, let's see how that progresses with Jesus. But good to hear that some of our other players are on the way back. But that's that. Let me know what you think about that Gabriel Jesus part as well. Let me know what you think about that down in the comments. Let's speak about the man who is returning to his former club, Eberechi. Honestly, I can't wait for this guy to really click for Arsenal. I think, being at the Emirates and watching him in the game, I feel like sometimes playing the role of a 10 against teams and watching him in the Prem, playing a role of a 10 against teams that have very rigid banks of 4, you can kind of get lost in between. You can get lost in limbo, essentially, where you're not really available for too many passes. Even when you do receive the pass, you might have to play the ball right back because, again, there's not much space for you to maneuver. I think there's two things. He needs to... I want to see him have the confidence to take on people more and show more of his flair, because he's got it in his locker. I don't know if there's a pressure thing where at Crystal Palace, as he says in this quote, where he says, I was prepared to go to Tottenham, but from the moment Arsenal came, it was always going to be them. But this part where he says playing for Arsenal are more like a show or theatre. There's more pressure playing for titles, but it's something I've dreamed of. I don't know if that pressure is making him less likely to receive the ball in between the lines on the half turn and drop a shoulder and try to take someone on, because maybe he's fearful of risking the ball. And actually, there was 1 or 2 times that happened against Atletico Madrid, and it was like, oof, but he's gonna get there, and I really want him to G up and get that energy to really go for Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park, because I think he's got so much talent, and I think when he cooks, honestly, I think when him and Gyökeres get more of an understanding on the pitch, and likewise when Eze finds a way I think Eze is gonna really unlock when he finds a way to build a relationship and triangles with either Saka and Timber. When the way Timber, he's definitely been the best right back in the league. Like if he's able to build up a relationship and interchange with your Sakas and Timbers, or even move towards the left and interchange with a Martinelli and Gyökeres, and really play around with you know those different options. I think the team's going to start moving differently. Our attack has so much leeway and levels to go up. So look, people, I think it's going to be a good game. One to watch for Crystal Palace. Obviously, Jean-Philippe Mateta is going to be the one to watch. He's been on form, great player as well. He's been bagging, and he's definitely going to be the one to watch. So look, I score predictions. Woo. Yeah, and yeah, let's not forget, Mateta scored a hat trick against Crystal Palace, so he's going to be on form. If Mascara does come in, or Calafiori goes left centre back, we're going to need those two to be on job. I think we need to keep this clean sheet life up because, yeah, the stuff we've been doing with our clean sheets have been ridiculous. I'm actually just going to shed light on this defense before giving my prediction and rolling off. I mean, Arsenal in the Premier League this season, the fewest shots faced, 65. Fewest shots, OT faced. OT, are they out trapping? Fewest XG conceded, 4.8. Fewest goals conceded, 3. 3. Like, that is insane. Can they break Chelsea's record for the fewest goals conceded in the Premier League season? 15. Come on, Arsenal. Nah, get this clean sheet. I want them to get this clean sheet. Real talk. And I think we can do it. Keep it up. Mateta's on fire, but I think we can block him out. Match predictions. Whew. I'm going to go 2-0 to Arsenal. I'm going to go 2-0 to Arsenal. I'm hoping Gyökeres has more confidence outside of Atletico Madrid. Those are the goals you need your striker to get. Doesn't matter how scrappy it is. You need your striker to get into that mood of just getting the scrappy goals, but knowing the right place to be. One thing I notice about Gyökeres is often when Saka or Martinelli picks up the ball, he drifts away from the winger, further into the middle of the box to try and receive a cross. And I think he needs to start mixing that up more because then you're asking Saka and Martinelli always to beat their man or pass to Timber. And by that point, you're slowing down the attack. So I think he needs to mix up between the fox in the box, hanging around the 6 yard versus, hanging back for a header versus coming short or going near post to attack a low cross or something like that. But anyway, I'm going to go 2-0 Arsenal. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Make sure to like and hype it. And yeah, man, let's go mash up Crystal Palace. We're doing well in the league. Big up Arteta and the squad. Listen, people, I'll catch you in a bit. Peace.